All right, everybody, welcome to the party. Today is Thursday, May 8th. We got a special Simply Cyber Firesides for you today. My name is Gerald Auger. I've been working in the industry for 20 years, and I speak at conferences all the time. I love sharing knowledge. I love educating. I love talking about, thinking about, working cybersecurity. And today we are going to break down the barriers. We're going to smash imposter syndrome in the throat. We are going to dispel any myths, and we are going to make submitting a CFP or a call for paper, essentially putting an application in to speak at a conference. We're going to do that today. I am going to go from zero to submitting a talk in the next hour in this video. And I'm hoping, if you're live with me right now, that you will also consider submitting a paper. If for a second you are like, oh no, I can't do it. What have I got to share? I'm so nervous. I'm so anxious. I'm telling you, just take the first step. Consider putting a talk together. Take the second step. Actually submit it. Heck, if you get rejected, at least you've submitted the talk. You know what the process looks like. And secretly you can be like, I didn't really want to talk anyways. But if you get accepted, you still have the option to decline. It happens all the time. So we are live. I see a lot of blue badges, a lot of friends here. James McQuiggan, who's very, very seasoned at speaking. In fact, he's actually doing workshops on public speaking at conferences like Wild West Hackenfest and others. Kyle's in here. Fleet is posting the third. He spoke at Simply CyberCon. So many just great people in here. I see Port Zero in here. Carrie. Guys, I hope you get great value. As always, this is going to be an incredibly interactive session. So ask your questions, follow along. You're supposed to follow along, okay? Otherwise, if you just want, you can sit back and chill and have some fun. So let's get into it, shall we? So what we're going to do is, first I'm going to spend like 10 minutes and explain why would you do it, right? What's the value? What's the purpose? Once you understand that, I think you might actually find yourself highly motivated to want to contribute to and speak at conferences. There's also a couple nuances about conference talks and preparing those things that you may not know. I'll go through all of that. And then we're going to split over and spend the majority of it with a screen share and me showing you exactly how to get conference talk ideas, how to flesh them out, how to properly construct an abstract, and absolutely increase your chances of having your talk selected for that conference. And we're going to be using the Blue Team Summit today as our conference that I'm going to submit to, and I hope you do too. And then ultimately at the end, you win. This isn't for me. This is for you. I'm absolutely all about service, and I want you to win. And I'm telling you, if you just let me help you, I promise you at the end of this session, you're going to be like, oh man, golly. You'd be like dabbing your brow with a kerchief and being like, oh, I do declare the vapors. I'm so glad I did this, Mr. Devereaux. All right. Trust me. It's all about entertainment. It's all about education. It's all about leveling up. So what is a call for papers, guys? A call for papers, it's an antiquated term back in the day for the nerds in the audience. Academic conferences, you typically would write a paper, an academic paper, and submit it. And then if you wanted to socialize it inside, academic circles, you would submit it to the journal in a call for papers, and then you could go present it potentially, or just get it submitted into the journal, which is a collection of papers. Well, for conferences and summits and all sorts of engagements, it's basically been an appropriated term. So all CFP means is submitting effectively an application to speak at a conference. Okay. Now, here are some examples. You can see here, this is Wild West Hackenfest 2025, which I will be at. I hope you will be too. It's all about good times. And you can see here is some of the speakers. Now, I know it's a little difficult to see, but Evan Kirstein's here, Ms. Julian's here, also me. These three people and many more who are speaking at Wild West Hackenfest, they all submitted a CFP to Wild West Hackenfest. Okay, so this is what it looks like once you go through all the work. So if you're wondering, where do these speakers come from? This is amazing. You go through the CFP process. And also, well, I'll show you that afterwards, okay? Now, how do you find these things? And let me know if you can, if it's difficult to see on stream. I can make it a little bigger, but you can see right here. This is the Blue Team Summit website, and I'll drop a link in chat to the Blue Team Summit website. I'll put it on screen right there for a hot minute, and I'll copy and paste it into chat. Here we go. Put it in chat. Blue Team Summit. All right. So this is the one we're going to use today, but I put it here just as an example. This is a live screenshot of the website. Call for papers is right there. You go to any conference and you'll see, obviously before it comes out, the call for papers. Now, one important thing to note here, because conferences are complicated to organize, like we're organizing Simply CyberCon 2025 for November 2nd and 3rd of this year, we'll send out a call for papers in early June, late May, early June, and get that all stacked up and organized. And then, probably by like July, we'll be locked in and we'll know who our speakers are. Just like Wild West Hackin' Fest happens in October, and they're already announcing speakers. So be mindful if you do want to speak at a conference. It's not like, oh, the conference is this Saturday, better whip up a paper, right? No. Like you've got to do it months in advance. So just be mindful of this. Blue Team Summit's a perfect example. It is taking place August 27th. And there you've got the call for papers open. So all you would do is simply go click on that. Now, we're going to do interactive session later on, so don't sweat on, scurrying over there right now. Casually Joseph's in chat. There's a gentleman who should submit a Blue Team Summit application. We'll get to him. So to demystify all this, guys, this is what it looks like when you click on the link, or essentially, right? What's your name? How do we contact you? What's the title of your talk? What's the abstract of your talk? And don't worry about these terms. I will fully flesh out what an abstract is and actually a secret on how to construct one that's actually super good at getting picked, okay? Like there's a whole science behind it, okay? You could just puke out what it does, but there's a trick, right? Like, what's the problem? What are you going to solve? What are takeaways for the audience? Again, I'll break down the formula for you later in this session. Presentation title, right? What's it called? We'll give you some examples on what to do and what not to do. But this is basically it. Also not shown, they'll want a headshot of you. They'll want a brief bio of you. I'm going to show you later in this session how to hack that as well. I got you covered, okay? Now, when you get accepted and you want to celebrate, right? Like this is where it's at. This is what it looks like. You can see Allison emailed me on May 2nd, just a couple days ago. Congratulations, Jerry guy. Your 50-minute CFP, which is Practical Cybersecurity Control Auditing from Prep to Reporting, has been selected. So this is what it looks like when you win the CFP. Now, remember, at this, I love this conference, so I'm absolutely going. But at this point, you could say, hey, wait a minute, I've got a conflict, or I'm too nervous, or I just don't want to do it, right? For whatever reason. You can now decline. Like at this email, later on in this email, I had to go and actually accept the acceptance, if that makes sense. Okay, now we're not all rainbows and unicorns. Some of us do take some lumps, and I'll show you this one. This was from yesterday. Hey, Jerry, apologize for the delayed reply. I literally emailed this guy. I was like, I haven't heard anything about my Black Hat talk submission. What's up? He replied me 30 minutes later. He's like, following our advisory board's review, we regret to inform you your submission does not align with our program's current direction. So I'm cool. Dude, it's all good. It took me half an hour to put the CFP together. They didn't like it. That's fine. No sweat off my back. I feel good. Speaking of Black Hat is a lifelong career goal. Same with DEF CON. I'll get there, but I got multiple skillets going right now. I'm cooking all over the place. So I tried. They'll be there next year. But this is what it looks like when you win. This is what it looks like when you don't win. Do not take this as a personal insult. Do not listen. I'm swear to you. Do not treat something like this as defining your self-worth. If you don't get accepted to a conference, don't sweat it, okay? Sometimes, and I'll talk to you about this in the actual, the interactive part, like sometimes it's not a good fit, okay? you got to remember, when conference organizers are putting together a program of content, they kind of want certain themes, they kind of want certain through lines because they're thinking of their attendees. So sometimes what you're submitting to talk about, it just doesn't jive with what they're going for. It's not an insult to you. I guarantee you, what I submitted to them is pretty good. It's just not good for them right now. It's cool. No big deal, okay? So you can win, you can lose. But why would you do it? Why would you submit yourself to this, Jerry? I'm busy enough working already. I just got, I just saw the GTA 6 trailer drop. I'm getting locked in for that. I'm going to be putting in hours. I just got addicted to DayZ. I'm going to be putting in hours. I don't have time to do this. I ain't got time, right?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, ain't nobody got time to do this. Well, why would you do it? Let me explain, okay? Hear me out, as the Gen Z kids like to say. Number one, when you go to a conference and you see someone speak, it kind of establishes like, oh, wow, this person is got knowledge. This person's sharing. This person's contributing. Wow, I'm inspired. Wow, this person. That's you on the stage, right? So you're establishing authority. You're also being seen as a individual in the community that has confidence, takes initiative to even submit the CFP and speak. All these things. When you come off the stage, a lot of times people come up to you. Hey, I have questions. Hey, this thing, other thing. Hey, I actually am working on a similar project. Would you like to collaborate? The professional networking that gets unlocked from becoming a speaker is bananas. And you do not have to speak at RSA or Black Hat to unlock this professional networking, achievement, if you will, or skill tree. Essentially, you could do B-sides, you could do a whole bunch. It will unlock. You will be networking. And I got a spoiler for you. When you do your first talk, well, then the entire idea of what you've constructed in your mind of what given a talk is and how scary it is and how it's overwhelming, that gets shattered. So doing a second talk, third talk, fourth talk, getting on the speaking circuit, it's much more frictionless for you, okay? Now, professional development. What? Listen to me. Speaking, communicating is incredibly important. It is a very valuable skill. Okay? I know we can all speak, right? Like, hello, Uber Eats. Yeah, I want some steak and cheese. Like, we can all speak. But speaking effectively, speaking clearly, doing narrative story arcs, knowing when to keep it short, knowing when to drill deep, knowing when to use nonverbal cues, knowing when to use visuals to better communicate and convey something. These are all techniques that you work through by building decks to present as well as public speaking, which, by the way, yeah, okay, you speak to 80 people at a conference at B-Sides. Well, then how intimidating is it when you're given a brief to the 4 executives at your business or managers? It's a skill that gets unlocked, refined, and worked, and it's going to not only give you confidence, it's going to make you have a more successful career. So not only are you kicking butt and blowing up your professional network and being seen and established as someone who knows something about what you're talking about, you're also developing a skill that will follow you your whole career. Your whole career. This is not a diminishing returns type thing, okay? Also, I put back pocket talk. I wanted to share this. This is like one of those nuanced things. Excuse me. This is one of those nuanced things that you would never really, people just don't talk about it, and it's kind of a forgotten about thing, but it's super important. Like a back pocket talk. You submit a talk or you have a talk that you gave at a different conference, right? There are instances where conferences, like people get sick. People don't show up. Sometimes like, oh, I'm at the food truck and I forgot that I have to speak and they can't find me, right? Conference organizers do not want yes, Kyle. Conference organizers do not want a gap in their programming because it looks stupid to the attendees, right? They want the attendees talking about how great the conference was, not how it sucked that there was like no speaker for an hour, okay? So what'll happen, and this happened at Simply CyberCon, we had someone who didn't show up. They were there and then they left for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Christina Paulika, aka the librarian, she like I think Mrs. Auger and I were talking, or somebody, and maybe Joseph and I were talking. We're like, oh, like we don't have a speaker, and Christina Paulika comes up like just like out of the. She's just like whoop. I got a back pocket talk, and we're like, what is it? And she's like, yeah, it's like SEO for cyber and kicking butt and all these things. And she's like, I've got it on me right now. Let's go. And we're like, okay. 30 seconds later, the MC, Joe Hudson's announcing Christina Paulik is about to give a talk. Everybody settles in, and she crushed it. Crushed it. So having these back pocket talks, which you will get as you're submitting CFPs and doing things, is going to be super valuable. Because listen, she did it. I'm talking about her right now. I know how dependable she is, okay? So I'm telling you guys, the whole reason I'm super jazzed about even giving this webinar and making it interactive is because I know how unbelievably valuable and a force multiplier for your career public speaking is. And the first step you got to do is submit a CFP. Okay? Especially like, dude, I'm telling you that CrowdStrike laid off 500 people, or they're laying off 500 people. That's not the day you want to start professional networking if you just got that notice. You want to start investing and building these things up now. So when you do need a quick fix or a situation, you can pivot quick because you've been professional networking. You've been establishing authority. You've got the sick professional skills around public speaking. Boom, right? Let's go. All right. Hopefully I've made a convincing argument. So let's bust a couple myths and then get into it. One, you got to be ready when you submit. No, you do not have to have your 60 slide deck pre-rehearsed. When you submit a CFP, you're submitting an idea of a talk you want to give that you've got some insights on. That's it. You're pitching them. Okay. In fact, I would argue do not make the deck in advance because it may not get accepted. You may not want to do it, whatever. So it doesn't have to be ready to submit. Okay. Number two, you have to be an expert. Listen, you don't need 20 years of experience to give a conference talk. If you are looking to break into the industry, right? And then you just broke in and you see some ways that you can parlay retail experience into a successful cyber career. Wade Wells talks about it all the time with his experience at In-N-Out, communication, management, customer expectation, maintaining, right? All these things. That would be a perfect talk. Wade's been in for a while, but my point is you could be in the industry for 6 months and see these values and be able to bring them. So do not think that you have to be some Mount Rushmore, long in the tooth, gray bearded. You don't. Anyone can do it if you got an idea, okay? And then, it's too much work. Dude, stop it, okay? It's too much work. Take it, dude, eat the sandwich one bite at a time. Come up with the idea, then submit it. See what happens. It gets accepted, start putting the deck together, okay? Okay, and then, hey, things came up, right? A lot of time conference organizers will actually plan for a couple people to have flight problems, emergencies come up, right? So they have backups. I'm not saying you should string a conference along and then quit at the last second, but don't think about the overall thing. Take it in increments and just march along 1% a day. Just kind of keep moving forward. Keep that momentum, okay? Plus, it's not that much work, dude. Put a concept together. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Put the deck together. Get going. You're going to be nervous, 100%. Just, you got to go through it, okay? Punch fear in the throat. Okay, let's do this. Woo, baby. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let me pause for just a quick second. Has anyone got any questions what we're doing here? Hopefully you guys, I see Casually Joseph and Justin Gold helping me out in mod chat. I don't see any screen claps or anything from chat, so I think everybody's doing good. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I got these IV powders or whatever, the hydration ones, and or liquid IV. They have a rocket pop one that tastes like Swedish fish. I'm kind of low-key addicted to them. All right. Let's cook, okay? Let me make sure. All right, so what's the process here? First, you got to find a CFP that you want to submit to. Then you got to ideate a talk idea. You got some takeaways, a catchy title, bio headshots, and then you do it. So let's first find a CFP. How's that? How's that? Yeah, 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 yeah. I did it. I think we got it. All right. We'll have to cut that out. Let me see. Feel me flow. Here we go. Let's go. All right, we got it. Okay. Apparently, Restream crashed, and then I had to like get my mics, but then it muted me, even though mute wasn't muted. So I had to on and off again the mute. All right, let's party. So the very first thing that you have to do is find a CFP. Now, as I mentioned before, there's tons of conferences all over the place. You typically want to find one that you're interested in. There are different levels. A B-Sides, B-S-I-D-E-S, B-Sides, and then your local, city, right? B-Sides Charleston, B-Sides San Diego, B-Sides Grand Rapids, right? B-Sides Detroit, okay? There's tons of B-Sides. Those conferences are perfect for your first talk, okay? They're more community based. They're a range of different speakers. The cost is typically pretty low. The speakers are volunteers, so more professional speakers that get paid don't want to, or they sometimes they do, but they don't speak there. So there's more opportunity, okay? A conference like Black Hat, DEF CON, those like highly coveted conferences that have thousands of applications put in for CFP, those ones are much more challenging. So I would recommend you find one. Now, the good news is I've already found one for you. Blue Team Summit, okay? Now, this is a virtual summit, which means you don't have to travel there. It's August 27th, which is plenty of time to get your affairs in order. And you could see why here. So I would recommend you read a little bit about it. Now, I know Blue Team Summit because I know, Kathy and Zach and John and the whole Black Hills and Anti-Siphon crew, okay? This is a 5-hour event. It's virtual. And we're going to get together, share joys, frustrations, reflections, okay? All of this sounds good. So, like, this would be a good one, okay? Now, as I mentioned before, we've already picked this ourselves, so this will be the good one, but first you got to find a conference, okay? So I'd recommend everybody basically open 2 browsers, one with me on the left talking and showing you what's up, one on the right of the Blue Team Summit, or you're going to need actually a couple browser tabs. So yes, it's safe, Chimera. Okay, so we've got our conference, check, okay? So that's good. We got number 1 completed. Now, ideate on a talk idea. So here's what I want you to do, okay? You may have an idea already. Blue Team Summit is security operations defenders. Now, I, as many of you know, am more of a GRC guy. I do dabble in blue. Like if I was, emo or Gen Z, like maybe one of my fingernails would be painted blue, right? And the rest would be black or something. Like I dabble in the blue, just because a lot of times GRC people will have to. But I'm not true blue. So you might be like, oh, I can't submit to this conference. Allow me, if you will, please hold my beer, okay? So I want you to open an AI, your favorite AI. I'm going to open Gemini, okay? And I'm going to say literally, I'm a 20-year GRC cyber industry professional. Work with me on this one, right? And I want to submit a CFP. I want to submit a talk to a conference called Blue Team Summit. Follow along, right? Obviously, you're not a 20-year GRC industry professional. Maybe you are, but maybe you're not. So go ahead and put whatever you are. I want to submit a talk to a conference called Blue Team Summit. I'd like to leverage my experience to deliver value to the audience of Blue Team Cyber Professionals. Ready? Here's the magic. Give me 5 talk concepts that, and this is important, would add value to the audience. You absolutely need to add value to the audience, okay? Again, if you already had a talk idea, you can skip this step, but I'm just showing you what you could do it, right? Give me 5 talk concepts that would add value to attendee, value to the audience. All right, let's just see what it says. Okay, I'm hitting enter. Okay, that's fantastic, dude. AI is always like so kind. That's fantastic. Let's go. All right, so number 1, bridging the gap. How GRC insights can fortify blue team defenses. This talk would explore how a deep understanding of governance frameworks, risk management processes, and compliance can directly inform and strengthen blue team strategies. Now, personally, again, you're not using AI to like do the work for you. You're doing it to get inspiration, okay? So for me, I don't think blue team people are going to get value from like me giving understanding of governance frameworks. So I'm just going to skip that one, okay? Next one, beyond check boxes, implementing meaningful security controls through a GRC lens. Okay, you have my attention. Practical application of controls, moving beyond simple meeting compliance mandates. I don't like that one. Okay, human element, empowering your blue team through security awareness and training. Focus on the crucial role of human behavior in both security and compliance. Designing security awareness programs that go beyond generic training and address specific compliance. Empowering blue team members to become security champions by understanding the why behind the compliance. Developing training scenarios that simulate real-world attacks and incorporate compliance considerations. I do like the awareness training one. I have an idea, and it's not that, okay? Navigate the threat landscape. Integrating threat intelligence with GRC for proactive defense, okay? Explore how understanding the threat landscape can inform and enhance GRC activities, leading to more proactive team defense, okay? Threat intelligence to refine risk assessments and identify emerging threats. Prioritize security controls and monitoring efforts based on the latest threats. Developing threat hunting strategies that are informed by both technical indicators of compromise and potential compliance violations. I do like that one. I do like that one. And then the 5th one is resilient cyber ecosystem synergist. I don't like that. So I like this one, honestly. Integrating threat intelligence with GRC frameworks for proactive defense. I wouldn't call it that, but using threat intelligence to refine risk assessments and identify emerging threats relevant to compliance obligations. Prioritizing security controls. Okay, so right now I'm going to pause it. Like, I have some ideas. Okay, so these are, I talk to AI like it's a person too. These are good ideas, but I'm thinking of a talk that like educates attendees on collaboration between GRC and security operations, which is blue team, by the way, in awareness training, right? Where using real incidents and real events, the security operations team is experiencing can be dynamically integrated into just-in-time awareness training. Give me, 3 talk ideas that play with this idea or with this concept, okay? So let's see what it says. All right, Devin McCarthy's thinking vulnerability management is relation management. Cool. So hopefully right now, even though I'm the one talking, hopefully you've got your AI friend up and you're asking it these questions. Hey, I work in here. I'm interested about this. What would be a good talk for an audience at this conference? And you're getting some ideas. And I'm going to show you, once you get one you like, okay? Once you get one you like, we're going to go on to the next step, okay? Living security awareness, turning SOC insights into real-time training. Practical mechanisms and workflows for dynamically integrating SOC insights into awareness training. Trigger events. Okay, can trigger just-in-time training modules. Automated content delivery. That's not what I'm really thinking. I'm thinking about like us partnering with SecOps, not Nobody likes the friggin' pop-ups that's like, oh, you just clicked on a fish. Here's some training that you don't have time to take. Yes, this is it. Content creation strategies, measuring effectiveness. Okay, cool. All right, I think I like the first one. Ooh, look at the title of this one. Chuck Sapp, GRC and SecOps, dynamic duo on building a human firewall through real-world learning. Collaborative relationship, GRC, establishing clear communication. Oh, yes, this is it right here. Defining roles and responsibilities, tech integration, overcoming silos. Oh, this is it. Okay, so check it out. I'm going to say I like this one a lot, number 3, okay? So when you find one you like, what I like to do is say, okay, I like and will go with, and then I literally just copy and paste it in quotes, okay? I need to develop an abstract for the CFP. It needs to include a problem statement, how this talk can help solve that problem statement, and this is critical, everybody. Miss Julian, high five for sure. This is like a very important part to the abstract. 3 learning takeaways for attendees. And this is important. This is like part of how your talk will be evaluated by the... Oh, by the way, I should have told you earlier, when you submit your CFP, it's pretty common for like a committee or a panel of people to get together, and they're the ones who evaluate all the submissions. They're the ones who are looking for those themes and through lines. Those are ones who are looking for high quality sounding talks. And remember, you've got to remember this. The entire point of your talk is to educate, entertain, and or inspire attendees. So by putting the 3 learning takeaways in your abstract, you're literally spoon feeding the committee that's reviewing it on what your value is. Don't make them try to figure it out, okay? Okay, cool. So now I've asked it to put together an abstract here. Okay, so here we go. Well, hold on. Can you write this a bit more succinct? Succinct, and you do not need to break out the problem statement and solution. Just, oh my God, bruh. Just make it read like a paragraph, you know? Okay, let's go. What's up? So, traditional security awareness training often misses the mark, failing to adapt to dynamic threat landscape and leaving orgs vulnerable to real-time attacks. This talk introduces a collaborative approach, forging GRC and SecOps partnership to deliver targeted just-in-time training based on actual security incidents. By leveraging SOC insights, organizations can transform employees into a proactive human firewall. I don't really like that term, but attendees will learn to establish collaborative frameworks between GRC and SecOps, implement just-in-time training strategies triggered by real-world events, and measure the impact of this approach to continuously improve and demonstrate its value. Okay, so we've got a pretty good abstract, okay? So I'm literally just going to... I'm going to go into a new browser and type docs.new for the URL. If you didn't know, that's like a shortcut to just get a Google Doc. And I'm just going to put here abstract, okay? Now, personally, I'm going to refine this a bit because the just-in-time training is it, but it's not, I don't like that, okay? So I've copied my abstract off. Hopefully you have too. Zach Hill, I'm not saying copy and paste the friggin' AI answer, okay? So, bro, okay? So next thing I'm going to say here is give me 5. So here's the deal. With conference talks, the next thing you got to think about, and this is a little bit of like YouTube-y type stuff, but you got to have a catchy title. Okay, this one's not bad about the dynamic duo and all that stuff, but you've got to have a catchy title because it's got to catch people's eyes. You want people to attend your talk. Getting back to all those values propositions I made earlier about professional networking, speaking, all these things. You got to have a cool title. All right. All right. So give me 5 titles for this talk that are intriguing or funny and would likely result in people being interested in reading the abstract, right? Or attending the talk. Okay. It's like a little marketing. Okay. Plus you got to be true to yourself, right? Oh my God, Casually Joseph, it is the same Zach Hill. Oh my God. Be cool, everybody. Everybody be cool. All right. So from zero to hero, turning users into your human firewall, SOC and GRC, security awareness, stop the snooze, start the save. Nah. Your users are the front line, not the weakest link. These titles kind of stink. I don't like these titles. Try again, but focus more on the. All right, but use blue team related terminology if possible. Right? Really play to the blue team. Right? Oh, cool, Kyle, you're gonna submit one. I love it, brother. All right, so check it out. What are we doing here? Did it write new ones? Oh, okay. It updated it. So like the word playbook is here now. False positives is here now. Okay. These all stink. I hope you're having better results than me, but you get the idea. You basically ask it to give you some cool titles and you kind of workshop it from there. For me personally, I'm going to say I'm thinking, this is another thing I like to do with AI. I'm thinking of a title more like, leveraging SecOps realities or SecOps true positives to educate the workforce. Okay. Can you workshop this title to sound more interesting? Because I think that title sounds boring as hell, but you know what I mean? So let's see what it does. Now that I've given it like what I actually really want, see if we can get something better. Okay, the positive power, turning SOC wins into user wisdom, alert to action, hardening your human sensors. What? SecOps insights, user firefights. Okay, so listen, this one I don't love because it has like AI vibes to it, but actually this one's kind of cool. I'm actually going to combine these, okay? So I like SecOps insights, user firefights, okay? But then the next part of it, I like using SecOps true positives to cultivate a security savvy culture. I do like that. Okay. So again, there's no rules here. So here's our thing. Now, again, traditional security awareness training often misses the mark, failing to adapt to the dynamic threat landscape and leaving organizations vulnerable to real-time attacks. That's not really the case. What I want to say is here, failing to deliver timely security awareness that would result in cyber risk reduction to the organization and the threats it's actually seeing, right? Because that's really the problem here. The problem is, GRC training was made like last year, or it's like a, super generic, and it's not really helping. I need Carl to be like, this is what you're going to see. This is what a phishing landing page looks like. This is what a click fix pop-up threat looks like, okay? So that's the problem, okay? All right, this talk introduces a collaborative approach, forging GRC and SecOps, right? I'm going to say, I don't like forging. Teaming up GRC and SecOps to deliver targeted just-in-time training. It's not really just-in-time. That was a mistake by the AI. Training, all right. By leveraging SOC insights, organizations can transform employees into a proactive human firewall. It's not really this. To me, it's by leveraging SOC insights, organizations can increase their cybersecurity posture through educated end users that, just through educated end users. Attendees will learn to establish collaborative frameworks between GRC and SecOps, implement just-in-time training. No, I'm going to put implement. It really is just-in-time training strategies triggered by real-world events. I'm going to put timely trainings triggered by real-world events and measure the impact of this approach. Continue. All right, so it's basically how to set up the relationship and communicate, how to actually deliver and make the awareness training, and then how to measure its effectiveness. Those are the three takeaways and kind of the three key, three key pillars of the talk, okay? So I've got a talk now, SecOps Insights, User Firefights, using SecOps True Positives to cultivate a security-savvy culture. This is my talk, okay? And I've gotten inspired here by the AI. So let's go back here and look. So we just ideated a talk idea. The three valuable takeaways we scooped up. I'm actually going to do this too, right? I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it back into the AI, and I'm going to say, all right, here is my abstract. Give me a bullet list of the three lessons learned, or three audience attendee takeaways, okay? Oh, wait, I forgot to freaking copy and paste it in. Donkey. Here we go. All right, here we go. Why is it like, oh, here we go. Why does it keep doing this? Like, I'm not interested in this, right? Here's my talk, or here's my abstract. Give me a bullet list of three attendee takeaways. I just wanted, I could just do it myself, but it's just faster for AI to do it, right? Come on. Why is nothing showing up? I don't get it. I don't see anything. I don't see them. Exclamation point. I don't know. You guys see them? Okay, I don't see it. Basically, I guess we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, like this. Okay. Attendees will 1, learn to establish frameworks. 2, implement timely trainings. 3, measure. Okay. And I'm actually going to change one thing here because I don't think it's a framework. I think it's collaborative communication. Communication vehicles. Okay. All right. So let me look at mod chat really quickly to see. Okay, cool. Everything's good. All right. So we're good. We're cooking. Okay. So we've got our 3 valuable takeaways. We did the catchy title, right? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the catchy title. Let me, mine is SecOps Insights, User Firefights. You could, like, of course, now you can have a theme and play with it. The next thing you're going to need is a bio and a headshot. Let me show you this. Okay. And just, again, just do it on a little notepad over on the side, okay? Check this out. Okay. This guy right here. Layoffs. Okay, check it out. Go to your LinkedIn profile. This is me. Do this. It's crude. Oh, wait, hold on. You want to see the about? Make sure the about gets expanded, okay? Click here and just scrub it all the way to the bottom. Okay? There we go. I don't need those things. Okay. I'm going to copy it. Now check this out. Wait, hold on. Is this it? Check it out. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Here's my LinkedIn profile. Okay. Write a short bio of me that I can use to submit with my CFP. Okay. Dude, what is going on with this? Like, why do you stink? All right, hold on. Let's do this again. Let's try a new one. Here is my LinkedIn bio. I literally just copied and pasted it. Write a brief bio of me for a CFP for a conference. I'm also going to say this conference is called Blue Team Summit, and it's for Blue Team Cyber Security Pros and Security Operations people. Oh my gosh. So make sure how you write it aligns to that. Okay. Now let's go. Here we go. Option one, a nice thing is it gives you options. Concise and action-oriented, highlighting experience and community, directly addressing the blue team audience. Let's see. Dr. Auger brings 2 decades of cyber experience to the Blue Team Summit. I wouldn't say to the Blue Team Summit. That's lame. But, yeah, this one's fine. I mean, you can read it and choose your own, right? The one that makes sense. Like, I'm going to just say really quickly, bio, and do that. Okay. I wouldn't say brings 2 decades of experience to the Blue Team Summit, but you can do it. You'll get the point. Okay. So now that we've done that, we've got our talk title, our talk concept, we've got our bio. You need a headshot. Now, I did try playing with AI and take a picture of me and put it in these AI. There are some, but there's none that are free. And we're not paying for anything. We're not paying here, okay?
Straight cash, homie.
So, all I could say is you should have, you should go put on a shirt or a blouse or whatever you want, stand against a blank wall, turn a light on your face and be like, whatever. We all have phones in our pockets that have cameras that are awesome. Just take a professional shot. I will tell you, no conference organizer is going to be like, oh man, this talk looks great. Oh my God, look at this headshot. Nope. That's not happening. But it's all part of the packaging. You just get a headshot done. You'll thank me. Okay. So I personally already have a headshot, so we'll take care of that. So now let's take the plunge. So going back, where is it? Computer. There we go. Here's our Blue Team Summit. It's pinned in chat right now. So remember, if you are following along, it's pinned in YouTube. If you're, on replay, I'll drop it there, but it's anti-training.com/event/blue-team-summit. Let's go to the call for papers. Doink. Here we are. Oh my gosh. It's so intimidating. It gives you this thing, calling all blue teamers. Our CFP is open. Do you have insights, experiences, or strategies to share? We're inviting you to submit your talk. Submission deadline is June 15th. Now, that's an important thing. You should always be mindful of what the submission deadline is, because if you're submitting afterwards, it's not going to get accepted typically. And 2, they shouldn't even have it open after the submission deadline. If they do it, here's a pro tip. If they say the deadline's the 15th and then they extend it, if any conference ever extends their deadline, it means that they're having trouble getting enough talks, period. So that's a great indicator that you can submit and get picked up. I do want to point out some conferences will pay for you to fly there. Some conferences will give you it's called an honorarium, and it's like a fee for speaking. Some conferences will send you merch. some will give you a free registration. So, it's not always like straight cash only, but sometimes there is compensation in certain ways. So, if you needed more reason. Okay, so here we go. Let's submit. So first of all, my name is Gerald Auger. I wish I was Zach Hill. Okay. I wish Zach Hill. My email address is gerald@simplycyber.io. Okay. I'm joking about this. Okay. Presentation title. Well, good thing we already did all the work, right? SecOps. Okay. Boink. Abstract. Now, I literally am going to show you this kind of like pro tip, okay? This part right here was the value props. I've already included it by saying attendees will. So again, I want to make this as painfully obvious to the review committee on what the value is. So I've separated it out with its own thing here, okay? So just go ahead and when you're ready, copy, and then paste it right into the abstract, okay? You want to make sure that's right. Twitter handle, I'm at Gerald _Auger. Okay. Job title, we'll put GRC dork. Your bio, remember, I just had AI scrub my LinkedIn, right? It's all true. I got so many, right? Here's my bio. And obviously you should read it to confirm. I know that I've done this before for other things, so I know that it's not going to hallucinate on your LinkedIn profile because you're like literally giving it insights, okay? Okay. By the way, great choice with Poppins font. So Chimera Gonzalez says, is it a good idea to add a personal spin to CFP topics? For example, aligning my military service or personal experience with my topic. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Make it your own, right? Veteran voices in cyber, leading from the front in an evolving digital battlefield. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Chimera, I would change that title because that title, I don't understand what it is. I understand veteran voices in cyber, so I get that part. But leading from the front in an evolving digital battlefield, first of all, that sounds super AI-y. Second of all, leading, like, is your talk about being a CISO? Like leading from the front? Is it about what? I don't know what it's about. Like I would workshop that title a little bit more. Like my title, using SecOps true positives to cultivate a security savvy culture. It's using SecOps true positives, like blue teamers know what true positives are, using them in some way. The way is to cultivate a security aware culture. Well, then how do you do that? That's what the talk is about, right? Okay, so continuing with my speaking thing here. Have you ever spoken at a conference before? If so, provide a link. Now, if many of you are first timers, and by the way, I want to point out the reason I chose Blue Team Summit is because kind of like Simply CyberCon, they have slots that are designed for first-time speakers. They have a very aligned vision with Simply Cyber on trying to level people up and empower them. So it's a great conference to submit especially if you're a first-time speaker. Now, if you have some speaking engagements in your wheelhouse, definitely pull them. A lot of conferences will post online your talk right on YouTube or something like that. So let me see really quickly. I think, yeah. So I actually gave this talk right here, Game of Thrones, at an Anticast with Anti-Siphon. So this is like a pro tip too, okay? Like if you have done work with anyone related on the panel, the committee, or the organization, reference that one. That's a good one, okay? Link to your headshot. Okay, now I think they're not going to take an upload in this case, but the good news is we can do a little cheat code here. Where is it? Hello? Computer? All right, hold on one second. I'm just going to do it the cheesy way. You could do this, I think. Right? Go to LinkedIn, go to your own profile. Right? It's good enough for your LinkedIn profile. It's good enough for you. So let's do this. So I clicked on my profile face. It brought a pop-up. I right-clicked on it and did open image in new tab. That image is there. I copy and paste the URL into here. Looks like a hot mess express, but that's one way to do it. You could also, because look, if I go to incognito mode and I drop this in, it pulls my profile up. That's fine. You don't need to stick it in a Google Drive. You don't need to make it fancy pants. Just do it that way if you want, okay? Confirm you can present visually. I can. Your shipping address. My address. I'm not going to put my address on the live, okay? Occasionally, Anti-Siphon wants to send things. I give Anti-Siphon permission to make edits. And then today's date is today, okay? So real quick, I'm going to do one last like sniff test. That's definitely my name. That's definitely my email. I definitely think this is a cool ass title. Excuse me. And then this is like the abstract is really where you got to be careful. Make sure this abstract is what you're envisioning your talk to be and you're excited about. Okay. I think this is a cool talk. I would love to work with SecOps people to get true positives and take those stories, those interesting narratives, how those magic tricks are happening, and turn around and develop a way to make GRC training more effective, right? And there's ways to do this, right? Again, you have to be able to deliver on what your talk idea is, right? Your talk can't be like, oh, I developed a tool that revolutionizes the way that security operations uses SIMs, because you got to make the tool, right? So don't have your abstract be anything that you cannot deliver on, okay? Like for this one, I would likely collaborate with like Hayden Covington or Wade Wells or someone who's got their face in a SOC or a SIM. Even I have Security Onion running. Look through some of those. Cherry pick like 2 or 3 examples. Talk about ways that the security operations team would like to communicate with GRC. Is it having a Slack channel that just auto fires ideas? Is it going to their meeting once a month? Like, what is it? Okay. Twitter handle, whatever. Your title, that's fine. Your bio, we use LinkedIn. You might want to double check that. All these things make sense. Again, this bio for me is kind of like not a great bio because it's not selling. It really should say like I have 20 years of experience in GRC. I've worked with SecOps people plenty of times. But for the sake of the show and the stream and everything, you get the idea. Here's a link to a talk I gave. Here's a link. I used the trick for my LinkedIn headshot. My address would be there and it's good to go. And I go ahead and hit submit. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just what we just did was submit our first CFP. Follow along. Ideations. That is it. That's why it's not super intimidating. People are so intimidated by it. Punch that intimidation directly in the ear. There's no reason to be intimidated. We're straight crushing it like a bunch of bosses out here. Okay, so let's see what else we did, okay? Oh, by the way, expectations. You can expect to get a message from the conference organizers in 30 days, 45 days, whatever. It should be, they'll give you a few months, right? You might even want to start working on this. Here's another positive. The fact that you put this talk idea together means now that you should, and by the way, also you want to have it in a doc on the side because when you submit it, you're going to lose it. You need to remember what you did. You could start working through like, what's the structure of this talk look like? You've got your 3 main pillars, for me, the communication, the actual education training, and then the metrics, right? So start ideating on how those things look. And then you're going to get this message or you're going to get this message. Either way, you've made growth. And by the way, look at this. Today's May 8th. I got the thing saying that you have a talk on October 8th. That is 5 months away. I have 5 months to work on this talk. 5 months is plenty of time. And I'll also let you in on a little secret. A lot of people are still working on their decks on the plane to the conference or the day before. Okay, so don't get all hot and sweaty about it, all right? This is the working document that I had. Actually, hold on one second. I actually created a working document and then I didn't use it because I'm a donkey. Hold on one second. Let me see. I created it. Let me see. I did this yesterday just as like a fallback plan. Submit a CFP helper document. Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you can make the conference, confirming your availability, right? The date, the time, the location, virtual or not. I gave the conference gist. I talked about that. Here's how you got to get an idea. You want to develop an abstract. Very cool. Catchy viral. Here's some examples of catchy viral titles. Remote exploitation of an unaltered passenger vehicle. This is when Charlie Miller took over the Jeep. James McQuiggan, right? Jackpotting ATMs. What Game of Thrones can teach us. So this is just a good one. I used LinkedIn in AI to make my bio. The headshot, I did try. Here's the example. I did try to do. This is going to crack you up. Nick Barker, you're going to love this. Here, I told you, just use your LinkedIn profile headshot. I did try to use AI. Look at this. I used this photo where I looked like I was, mugshot, and I threw it through AI, and this is what I got. Okay? Like, oh, it's generating a new profile. No problem. Here's what you get for free. Okay? This is my free, like, I don't know what's going on. It looks like Henry Cavill and I had a baby, and then that baby really liked bonbons. And by the way, like, why is the tie on this guy wearing a sail? So anyways, I would not submit this as my profile photo or my bio headshot because this is insane. Look at this guy. What are you doing? Okay, so that's what's up. All right, and that's it. So that was the helper document. All right, let me. Congratulations, guys. If you've been following along, you've submitted a CFP like an absolute boss. Okay, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. This has been how to submit a CFP tutorial. Follow along. I can't wait. I hope so many of you crush your first talk at Blue Team Summit or B-Sides or wherever. And if you were nervous before and you've been made put at ease, that was my goal today. If you've submitted a talk, that's bonus points. I'm super proud of you. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Q&A. We're right at a couple minutes over, but I did have an audio issue for a few minutes, so I'd like to pretend that I nailed it as far as timing goes. So I'll open it up to Q&A. All right. Here we go. Here, I'm going to... Who's submitting a talk? Me. Not me. All right, just a quick poll. I'm kind of curious. I'm also going to play some light music. Now that we've done our work, I like to work and play. Where's my Spotify? Spotify. Oh, it's up here. All right, so I'll answer questions. Thank you for coming to the talk. I hope you guys got value. I honestly do. I really do. I don't know why an error is occurring when I try to create this poll. All right. Mara Levy, definitely do it. Definitely do it. Great point, Justin Gold. Listen, guys, you're putting in the work. Like, seriously, hear me. You're putting in the work to put this talk together. You're getting excited. This is a creative work by you, okay? If you get a rejection letter, do not burn the thing to the ground. It's still a cool idea. You could turn it into a talk. You could make a YouTube video. You could just document it and make it a LinkedIn post. You could submit the same exact talk to a different conference. My Game of Thrones talk, I've given 3 times. I just gave it at DakotaCon a couple months ago, right? You can get some tread out of these things. So do not take... First of all, don't take rejection personal, okay? It's not personal. It's just the talk didn't fit their schedule of programming. 2, leverage it. Keep going. You've already done part of the hard work of getting the idea and getting it going. Now all you got to do is you've built the scaffolding. Now build the house underneath it. All right. Let's go. Viper Nil says super valuable. Good. That's what I'm trying to do here. Roswell, UK, I'll be honest, actually made me a bit more nervous. It started to make me think I don't have anything to talk on. Mind you, I've been out of work for over a year, so that might be part of it. Yeah, Roswell, UK, imposter syndrome's a real thing. Don't get sweaty on it. There's a lot you can do. I mean, you can go very technical and have like, I don't know, like you could stand up Security Onion, right? It depends on what you're interested in, right? Security Onion, and then like Wade Wells just wrote like a little AI script or something that documents detections, right? So like that little thing, that's a cool thing. You don't have to be working in industry to do that. You could write a little tool that does something cool, or you could, and even this, like Roswell UK, taking advantage of like being out of work, you could actually look at 3 different like free SIM platforms. Like I'm just making this up on the fly, but like Waza, Security Onion, Graylog, whatever. Maybe like what, I don't know, another one, right? And then compare and contrast, like install all 4, compare and contrast them as far as security operations on a budget, how to have a SIM that's like effective SIMs that are free, or something along the lines of you actually doing the work of like comparing a couple different free or low cost SIM options. So security operations practitioners, SOC analysts, GRC people, frankly, that have no budget, they're strapped thin, they work at a K through 12, they work at a local municipality, and they don't have 2 nickels to rub together. That would be really an interesting conversation for them to hear. What were your findings from that? And Roswell UK, you are now well-versed on 3 or 4 different SIM platforms, at least enough where you could talk about them and share that you've installed them and played with them and done things with them, and you know their shortcomings. Holy crap, that would be interesting in a job interview where they're like, what experience do you have with SIMs? You're like, well, I've used Graylog, I've used Security Onion, I've used Waza, although I don't really like, I mean, Waza's not really a SIM, but you're like, I don't really like Security Onion because of this reason, and this reason, but it does have this feature that Graylog doesn't have. So it really depends on your use case. And they're just going to be like, ah, and you got all that knowledge because you prepped for a talk. Okay, I went long on that one, but is there a standard time length for CFPs? No, there isn't a standard time length. Typically, a conference will, I would say, a conference, normally, it's not always the case, but normally, a conference will open CFPs like maybe 6 months before the conference, 6-7 months before the conference. And then it's usually like maybe a month and a half for the CFPs to be open. Like Blue Team Summit closes June 15th, so they may have done like 2 months. And then you've got, roughly 3 to 5 months before the conference to get your talk prepped. I will also tell you, it's not uncommon to, the Sippy Cup is not on the merch store now. It's not uncommon for some conferences to want you to submit your deck, 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks in advance. Like the more fancy ones, like Black Hat, I've never talked at, but I assume that they'll want your deck like 2 weeks before. And the whole reason behind that is because they know so many people wait till the last minute that if you can't submit a deck 2 weeks before, they will fill your slot with someone else because they feel like you're basically a risk to the conference not working. Okay, here, I want to put some music on, guy. Hold on. Actually, I shouldn't play music because I'm going to have to cut the beginning out with the Naughty by Nature. All right. How long should the talk be? 20 minutes, 50 minutes? Just so you know, typically, the conference organizers will tell you. So I think, let's go back to the Blue Team Summit webpage. Zach, does it say on the webpage where the, how long the talks are? It normally does. Sometimes there'll be 2 different tracks. Like one track will be shorter, and one track will be longer. Here, let me see. All right, so papers. Let's see. Okay, so you can see here in the call for papers, it says, we're inviting speakers to submit proposals for 20 to 25-minute virtual talks. So it's, okay, so like normally it's either 20 to 25 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes, and occasionally you can get a 90-minute talk, but typically you're not submitting a CFP proposal for a 90-minute talk. Like you're being asked to come and talk for 90 minutes about something, so that's fine. This music's awful, bro. Restream, your freemium music's terrible. I do notice that they opted to not have funk, which I appreciate. Okay. Aaron Lewis says he's taken my class but hasn't gotten a job using my info. Please help. Aaron, I mean, you know, there's a lot to it. The class definitely doesn't guarantee a class. What I would say, I mean, a job. What I would say is, whoa, as far as Aaron, your thing, practical skills, this whole lecture was about public speaking and submitting CFPs. Do that for all the reasons I outlined earlier on the benefits between professional networking, authority, professional development. Yeah. I'm telling you, like speaking at conferences is a huge, it's huge for your career. It can definitely help. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm looking for questions here. I want to make sure everybody gets what they need, okay? All right, some people said it was a great session. Thank you. Already done. Gerald must be a carpenter to nail that video. Thank you, Carrie. Devin McCarthy's submitting one. Very cool. Cloud's going to submit 2 this year. Cloud, are you going to submit one to Blue Team Summit? Hey, and Roswell, UK, don't even, you know, like, don't get nervous, right? Like, if you submit and it doesn't get accepted, that's okay. You still went through it. IT career question says, Zach Hill, if you submit to the Blue Team CFP and you don't get chosen, we'll figure out something with Jerry to have a couple Discord events where you can present. That's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea, Zach Hill. So you will get an opportunity to present, okay? Also, hey, Simply CyberCon CFP is going to open up pretty soon, and we have 2 tracks for our conference, and 1 track is exclusively supposed to be for first-timers, right? Sometimes we, you know, have to put in a couple others, but for the most part, that's the point of it. Mara Levy, will you do a second part about prepping the talk? That's fun. Yeah. Done. Let's do that. I got to take a note, though, or I'll forget. How do I... Give me a second. I got to put it in my Taskmaster tool here. Oh, my God. I don't even know. Here it is. So what did Mara say? All right. Talk part 2. Prep the talk. Idea to deck. Okay. All right, it's in the books here, Mara. Honestly, I'm gonna share an inside secret with everybody here. So, I'm such a lunatic. Okay, I'm straight up. I'm such a lunatic. So, I was supposed to be in Romania right now. Like I was supposed to go to Romania yesterday, and I wasn't gonna come back until next Friday. Okay, and plans changed. I was actually going to a conference, besides Transylvania, and plans changed, okay? So I didn't have Simply Cyber Firesides scheduled for tonight and next week because I was going to be out of town, and, you know, and I was like, oh, like, I got nothing scheduled. Like, instead of relaxing or taking a rest, I'm like, let's do a how to CFP talk. So Mara Levy, I actually don't have a guest lined up for next week. So, you know, that could happen. So, lunatic. I'll rest later in life. Roswell UK says, good session. That would be a good talk. Yep. So I will tell you, Kathy Chambers knows, but there's a whole skill set around developing slides. Like if you've ever attended one of my talks, like this one kind of, but I typically don't use a lot of words, right? I mean, this one's kind of a bad example, but I'm more screenshots and pictures, right? I like to talk to the slides, but that's a hard skill, okay? Casually Joseph says, I'll pay $50 to have you stream DayZ next Thursday. Oh my God. Don't even get me started, dude. I'm no one wants to watch me play DayZ. I'm inverted when it comes to entertaining on that. All right, waiting. Oh my God. Oh yes, Wade Wells with the reminder. So check this out, guys. If you didn't know, just as a little teaser for everybody, now that we're kind of hanging out, tomorrow. This isn't a joke, okay? This is not a joke. This is not a drill. Literally not a fire drill. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., if you didn't know, Wade Wells, that's the mustache on the right, Josh Mason, the guy on the left, and me are literally doing the Hot Ones Challenge tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll drop a link to the to the event here. Live. Oh, Hot Ones Live. Okay. Very, very nuts, dude. Okay. This is happening tomorrow. We're going to be eating the spiciest foods. And it's going to be no mas. So if you're interested in watching us hurt ourselves, please come join us. Okay? Thank you, Wade, for the reminder. You're welcome, Sage Clements. I hope you got value from it. You're welcome, Chimera. Oh my God, Wade, you got to go to work after that? I've cleared my schedule. My family's leaving. Like, all right. All right, guys. So it has been awesome. I hope you guys submit. And if you do submit a talk and you do get selected, congratulations. If you don't, Zach Hill and I are going to collaborate on a way to have a kind of a B-sides conference to the Blue Team Summit somehow and let people talk. And I hope, like, I don't know if you'll ever remember, any of you, but if you get picked and you do speak and it does have a profound positive impact on your career at some point, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped. I'm not being playful or facetious or joking around when I say beginning to speak at conferences will have a massive positive impact on your career. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you to Anti-Siphon, Kathy Chambers, Zach Hill, the mods, Justin Gold and Casually Joseph. Thank you to all the long-timers and just Simply Cyber community friends. Hashtag Team SC. I hope you all got value from this. I look forward to your talks at Blue Team Summit. I'm Jerry. Until next time, stay secure.